Welcome back to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss news and views about pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, food, cooking, the outdoors, and more. It's time, once again, for those egocentric attention holders, Harry and Meghan. After I had reported in a video that I had released last week that Meghan Markle faked some of the interviews that were included in her archetype Spotify podcasts, it's now being reported that both Spotify and Netflix executives are completely underwhelmed by both Prince Harry and Markle. Personally, I'm not shocked about any of this, and it's quite revealing. The reason that executives at both Spotify and Netflix are underwhelmed by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex is their alleged inability to produce enough content. According to the Wall Street Journal, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's, quote, inexperience as producers, unquote, have impacted their business forays into content production and expanded beyond their own personal stories. We all know how much they love talking about themselves and how miserable their wealthy lives are more than anything else. Sources close to the streaming giants allegedly said that both Netflix and Spotify, quote, have been underwhelmed by the lack of productivity by the Sussexes, unquote. Now, who would be shocked by that? Certainly not me. The publication also cited employees and associates of Archewell, Harry and Meghan's foundation, as saying that the company, quote, lacks direction, unquote, and that the Sussexes, quote, at times seem surprised by the work required to finish entertainment projects, unquote. You mean that since they quit being working royals, that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle weren't prepared to put in a full day's work to earn a living? This story comes after last week's announcement that Spotify and Archewell Audio's 3-year partnership has come to an end and will not be renewed. Archewell Audio claimed that the companies, quote, mutually agreed to part ways and are proud of the series we made together, unquote. Under the now canceled $20 million Spotify deal, which was signed in 2020, the Sussexes produced just one series of the Duchess's podcast, Archetypes, which consisted of 12 episodes. They reportedly discussed a second series with Spotify, but it was axed. Spotify was going to pay Harry and Meghan $20 million, and it sounds like the royal couple thought that they didn't actually have to do that much to earn it. Maybe Harry needs to learn that having a royal title alone won't actually earn him anything in the United States. This week, it emerged that Taylor Swift reportedly declined to appear on Meghan's podcast, despite receiving a personal letter from the Duchess. Maybe Taylor Swift was more concerned that associating with Meghan Markle might hurt her own reputation. The claim was made in a Wall Street Journal report published on Saturday, June 24th, that described Spotify executives as being frustrated with the time it took Archewell to come up with an idea for Meghan's show and assemble a team to work on it. The publication also reported last week that the couple did not meet, quote, the productivity benchmarks required to receive the full payment from the deal, unquote. Do they not understand what us regular folks have to do to earn money? A spokesperson for Archewell told the publication, quote, new companies often make changes in their startup phase, both with people and strategy, and we are no exception. We're more equipped, focused, and energized than ever before, unquote. The company, which was founded by Harry and Meghan in 2019, recently hired a new head of scripted content, actor and producer Tracy Ryerson, the spokesperson added. It comes after the foundation's president, Mandana Dayani, and I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, stepped down from her role, with Harry and Meghan taking full lead. Maybe she was frustrated too in trying to work with Harry and Meghan. Other sources were also cited as saying that Netflix is, quote, unlikely to renew, unquote, their $100 million deal with the Sussexes, which was signed in September 2020 and runs out in 2025. Oh no, whatever shall they do? Turn to Disney Plus? At the time, it was understood that the deal would see the couple making TV series, films, and children's shows for the streaming platform. But 3 years later, they have only produced their critically panned and audience-rejected docuseries Harry and Meghan, which premiered at the end of 2022. And I have talked about that show in multiple videos, beginning in December of last year. However, a Netflix spokesperson told the Wall Street Journal that it valued the partnership with Underwhelmed and that Harry and Meghan was Netflix's biggest documentary debut. But how many people actually watched it through to the end, and how many are watching it now? The spokesperson added, "We'll continue to work together on a number of projects." It was reported that the Sussexes hoped to make an animated children's show titled Pearl, but it was canceled by Netflix, as were 2 other TV ideas that were rejected in the past year. Aw, isn't that sad? Podcast ideas that the Duke reportedly had for Spotify that were also rejected included a series that would have seen Harry interviewing figures such as Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump about their childhood trauma. You know, I think Harry is a bit out of touch with what's going on in Europe these days. It was also reported that Harry pitched an idea for a podcast about fatherhood, which he hoped to interview the unmarried, childless Pope Francis for, according to Bloomberg. Does Harry not understand that Catholic clergy don't get married or have children? The Wall Street Journal article alleged that while the couple had proved they could, quote, mine their personal stories, unquote, they, quote, have struggled to make content that stretched beyond their own experiences, unquote. Again, can anyone actually be shocked by any of this? Following the news that the Sussexes' partnership with Spotify had ended, Spotify executive Bill Simmons criticized the pair on his own podcast, The Ringer, branding them effing grifters. He added, I gotta get drunk one night and tell the story of the Zoom I had with Harry to help him with a podcast idea. It's one of my best stories. However, it appears the Sussexes' business potential has not reached its limit. In April, Meghan reportedly signed with a major talent agency, WME, which represents some of Hollywood's biggest stars, including Rihanna, Dwayne Johnson, and Matt Damon. Variety reported that she will be represented by Ari Emanuel, and her focus will primarily be on film and television production and brand partnerships instead of acting. Underwhelmed will also be represented by WME. Harry and Meghan's decision to step down from the royal family in 2020, that's a typo in the article, and move to Montecito, California with their children was made so that they could become, quote, financially independent, unquote, the pair said in a statement at the time. They live in a $14.65 million mansion with their son Prince Archie and daughter Princess Lilibet. Harry last saw members of the royal family in early May without Meghan or their 2 children when he attended the coronation of his father, King Charles III. But he did get to walk into Westminster Abbey with disgraced Prince Andrew for all the world to see. I know because I watched television coverage of the coronation. In the comments below, I would love to hear your thoughts about the royal couple and whether you believe Prince Harry was actually fully prepared and understood the ramifications of having to earn a living on his own after quitting the royal family in 2020. Thanks for watching today, and a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our channel. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, and please feel free to share a comment. If you'd like to see more of our videos in the future and help support this channel, please press the red subscribe button, and please press the bell to receive notifications for new content. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.